George.
Sí, lo que estoy pensando ahorita. Le ponemos la T al tractor.
I'm coming.
Este es.
He's worked to fuck it up. Tyler. Said he was on the phone with goddamn American Express or something.
¿Cómo va el América, Marco? ¿Cuándo juega?
Mañana.
¿Mañana?
I guess.
¿Con Chivas? ¿A apostar?
Sí, le tengo la fe, pero no hay.
¿A Caguama? No, ve George. Ni quiere de Caguama.
Yeah, I think he's coming down here. Yeah. He said, I'm so fucking worked up. I'll see y'all in a little while. I'm about to ride down there. Fucking mad.
Kept going. He would pull his phone out, and he's like, I gotta call. I gotta make. And he would call, but it wouldn't. It was just the screen. He was sitting there like hitting it, and then he was like, oh yeah. And I could see it. It was lit up, and it was literally just his front screen, like this, and it wasn't ringing. He's like, I didn't answer, and like put it back in his pocket. And I'm like, what the fuck is this man on? And then his phone did ring, and he was like standing up, and I'm like, hey, your phone's ringing. And he was like, Walgreens. Hello, Mr. Walgreens. And he's like, I was listening to him, and he was talking, and he was like, no, I don't need a refill on those. He's like, I'm not. And there, he said, I've been taking. He said, I stopped taking those because they started making me feel weird. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I just stopped taking my medication. It was making me feel weird. And I'm like, maybe you need to get back on your medication. You know, like maybe the medication's what's making you not act like a fucking loony bin.
Hello, Mr. Walgreens.
It was a goddamn pharmacy. Like, what the fuck? Can you imagine if Tyler was down here? That guy would have fucking got on his last nerve.
So he used to party a lot
Oh yeah, he liked to party.
back in the 60s.
Literally, I about shit myself. He was like, oh yeah, I used to party a lot here. He was like, they used to have a nice pool. He was like, it was great for the 60s. And I was like, 60s? Like, nigga, in your 60s or in 1960? Like, what the fuck? Golly.
Both his crazy move.
Hey, bust a move. Yeah, he's like, when do you think you'll be taking those big guys down? And I'm like, because he was like, I'd like to see that within the next 10 minutes or an hour. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, we got to eat lunch. And he's like, you want me to go get y'all some hamburgers? And I was like, what? And he's like, I'll go pick y'all up some hamburgers real quick. And I was like, no, it's okay. We got sent a guy to get food. And he was like, oh, well, what's for lunch? And I was like, I don't know. We just give him money and he gets food. I don't know. And then we were literally, I saw Marco coming and he was like walking down the hill with me. And I was like, oh, lunch is here. And he was like, oh, nice, free lunch. And I was like, oh, fuck no. Dude, if this guy tries to stay here and eat lunch with us, I'm fucking lose my mind if this man tries to stay here and eat fucking lunch. Like, no way. He just kept getting farther out there. Every time I would look at him, he was like 2-3 steps. Mm-hmm. And then he's like on the phone and he's like 2-3 steps. He said he was on the phone when I walked out there to tell him to move. He was talking to somebody and he was like, you wouldn't believe this. You wouldn't believe this. There's a crazy man in a tree out here. He's about 500 feet in the air. I was like, 500 feet? Jesus Christ. Literally, he's on the phone. He's like, there's a crazy... And he kept telling me that. He's like, you got to be out of your fucking mind. You got to be just crazy to be up there on that tree like that. And I was like, nigga. Oh, my God. I was like, you are the crazy one here. Like, you are the crazy person. There is a crazy man here. It's you. Like, get the fuck out of here. And then he saw Leo in this loader whipping around. He was like, yeah, that's what I would do. If I worked for you guys, I would be in that tractor right there, just going crazy. And I'm like, golly. Yeah.
Say that.
That fucking old man. Yeah, he was on the phone with somebody and he was telling him, he was like, he didn't tell them they were cutting trees down. Like, we were cutting trees down. He's like, you'll never believe it. There's a crazy man about 500 foot up in a tree out here. Don't you know whoever he was talking to was just like, what the fuck is going on? He asked me, he said, can I take some of those limbs home with me? And I said, I mean, you can have whatever you want. I was like, where are you going to put it? And he was like, oh, I was just trying to be funny. I thought you were going to think that was funny. I said, well, I was like, you wouldn't believe how many people pull up and ask for limbs and fucking logs and crazy shit. And I'm like, so, you know. Dude, what a guy. Don't worry, he'll be back.
Well,
You saw him about in the street down there when he was,
¿No lo viste?
when he was shaking?
Yeah.
He walked out. He looked like he was holding a jackhammer.
Yeah.
Espíritu.
¿Dónde?
Ahí está, para enfrente, tu pie derechito allá. para acá, más para tu izquierda. Entonces, la toquis va a venir.
¿Dónde, George?
Ahí delantito.
¿En mi pie izquierdo?
Sí.
Yeah, they're bringing a check
Dice que está moviendo.
to pay him today.
Sí, la carne, ¿no?
So that's why he said try to pay him.
Oh, sí.
Say Tyler. Yeah, because he told him that he needed to get paid today because we were going to finish today. He wasn't waiting 6 weeks.